Today's show is sponsored by Profit Accumulator, the #1 match betting service in the UK. Match betting is different to gambling. With gambling, you bet on one side, and if that side loses, you lose. With match betting, you bet on both sides. That means no matter what the outcome, you're a winner. When you sign up to Profit Accumulator, they will walk you through the whole process of how to do match betting, and as long as you follow what they tell you, you cannot lose. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description right now for your free trial, and you can start earning some real cash.
Yes, my peoples, good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are watching from. Hello and welcome to the Stats Review Show, and it's a happy day today. Woke up in a great mood. We won 4-2 last night, and for me, it was just, I was so happy with everything. Martin Odegaard, his start was great. Really enjoyed that. Aubameyang hat-trick. Bellerin got on the score sheet. Willian come on, and I wasn't even too annoyed at it, if I'm honest. But yeah, no, I'm happy. James, how are you?
Yeah, very happy. I'm happy. It was a very good performance and a convincing win. I know we scored 2 and I got a little bit nervy, but you know that's kind of recency bias. Like across the whole game, we were the much better team and we deserved it. And yeah, I'm really happy.
Yeah, same. And like we're going to go into obviously the title of the show is Saka, our best player. For me, you already know. I don't even say it. It's a very obvious, simple question, simple answer for me. It is a yes. But we're going to progress it. We're going to get you guys' opinions on what you think. Is he world class? Is he better than the other players that his name's floating around? Yeah, we're going to get into that later, but that's more of a topical debate, but we'll do that towards the end. But we have a structure to this show, as I'm sure you guys know. We're going to go through it today. We're going to go through the starting 11. We're going to go through the stats, the goals, and then the substitutions, goals conceded, and obviously the man of the match that was given last night to big up Bama Blood Clot Yang. So, yeah, we're going to go through that. Shout out to Troops, as always. But, yeah, so let's start with, James, we might as well start with the starting 11.
Yeah, let's get straight into that. I mean, that's obviously the first part of any match day is seeing, you know, who's in the starting 11, who's playing, who's Arteta selected. Were there any surprises here for you?
I was happy with what I saw.
Yeah, me too.
Leno in goal, I was happy to see that. He swapped out Ryan, obviously, which is obviously granted that now Leno's back. Gabriel and Luiz, my strongest centre-back pairing. I don't know if anyone else agrees with that. I'm sure many
I agree.
Do. Yep, I'm sure many people do. Xhaka and Ceballos, I really predict that as well. I'm not doing a full back or anything at the moment, but Odegaard and Emil Smith-Rowe, the only surprises that took me by surprise was they're both starting. Yes, I expected one of them to play, but to have them both on the pitch at the same time, I didn't see it coming. And if I'm honest, it was a very good move from Arteta, in my opinion. It worked out perfectly well. For you, James, any surprises?
I'm with you that Luiz and Gabriel as the pairing made me very happy. I got to be honest, because Holding has had a good season and people have rightly praised him, and I think we've praised him a plenty as well. But I'm with you that Luiz and Gabriel probably when all the centre backs are on form, that's probably our best partnership. So I was happy to see that. I thought it was, from Arteta's perspective, a bit of a trial ahead of Benfica to see if maybe that was the right thing to go with. So we'll see. I mean, Luiz not completely blameless for the goals, but then also not necessarily his fault. I thought overall he had a good game and kept us in it at one point. And then otherwise, to see Smith-Rowe and Aubameyang playing, you know, what I enjoyed about it was Odegaard was playing in the 10. So what we had in Smith-Rowe was more of a wide creator rather than a winger. So he came quite central, which I enjoyed. And Aubameyang was playing off the shoulder of the centre-backs a lot, which is what we've always said is what he does best. So I was really happy to see that as well.
There was a few, JXY says, would you renew Luiz's contract for another year? I think that we spoke about this recently in a show. I said, yes, a 1-year deal I'd be happy with just because of his impact in the change room, how much of a leader he is. I think he is the actual shining, in my opinion, has the most credentials to be a captain for Arsenal. I would keep him in the dressing room. Whether he starts next season, every game will be a question, but I definitely would give him another year. No more than that, though, because I believe he is coming towards the end of his reign at Arsenal and player.
I think the thing I'd say is, despite having, since Luiz has arrived, we've had 2 terrible seasons, but I think everyone agrees that's not on Luiz. You know, the problems were midfield, creativity, scoring goals. Luis has had bad moments, but he's not the reason that we've had 2 bad seasons since he's been here. But actually, we've seen improvement from Luis. I think Luis is a better centre-back this year than he was last year. I think Arteta's getting something out of him, and he's clearly very well thought of within the group and the camp, as you said. So why not? He can play right centre-back, left centre-back. I'd give him another year. Yeah. I mean, what I would say is Arsenal need to not be too rash. That's the only thing. They do this a lot. They get quite caught up in something. And they go, yeah, here's another year. Let's just wait a second. Let's get to April, see where we are, see how Luis is doing, see how Saliba is developing, and then make a decision. But if I had to make the decision now, yeah, I would give him another year.
Okay, perfect. Right, let me just flick out some energy. I should be gassed today, bro. We won 4-2. I'm feeling a bit... I don't know what's going on.
What's wrong? What's wrong, Seth?
I don't know. No, I feel good, but I'm focusing on. I'm trying to do a lot at once. But I'm like, boy, I'm gassed. Like yesterday, I was so happy. So, right. Sound mad. I've had my coffee and everything. So I don't know why it's slowly getting into the veins. Right. So yeah, that was the starting 11, guys. I don't know if anyone else had any different opinions on what they saw the starting 11. Were they happy? Aubameyang starting as well. That obviously put Aubameyang, that put Lacazette on the bench, and that it just triggered a question in my mind: is Arteta saving him for Thursday?
Maybe.
Do
you know what I'd say? When I looked at this 11 and I saw the intensity with which we played, I think this was an experimental 11. I think this was I've got a few ideas on how to tweak what's been working, so let's give it a go. Let's see what happens. So. Aubameyang and Lacazette are very different strikers. Aubameyang gets him beyond. Smith Rowe and Pepe are very different wingers. So I'm hiccuping. Are very different wingers. Smith Rowe comes very central. In fact, I've got a stat on that later to kind of prove that point. So I think this is an experimental 11 to try different combinations, and it worked really well. So fair play.
Yeah, 100%. But Shadir, thank you for your super chat.
No, I'm worried. But hey.
Right, listen, we're not focusing on that right now. Let's get to Thursday first. Let's get through our Europa League first leg, first game. But yeah, anyway, right. So that was the starting 11. I'm gonna obviously now go through. This is what you guys. I don't know if you guys are here for this, but we've got the stats, the fun facts, just some things to look at. We'll start with the match stats of the game here. James,
this was quite interesting. When I picked the 5 stats I put in, I tried to put the 5 stats that I think tell the story the most of the game. And I think what's interesting is we had 13 shots to 9. We had 5 shots on target each. But then you look, we were outpassed, and another mistake in the graphic. I apologize, guys. Second week in a row I've done it. It's not goals conceded, it's possession. I'm starting to think this might not be my fault. Maybe there's something wrong with anyway. But the important graphic, the important stat in there is the touches in the opposition area. We had 37 to 17. Oh no, that is brilliant.
Sorry, that's my fault. I'm sorry. Carry on. Apologies.
They're not letting you forget it, are they? Anyway, look, the touches in the opposition area is the stat I want to show here, because we were the better side without passing it as many times, without having as much possession, but we looked more dangerous. And actually 13 shots there, 9 doesn't quite show how much more dangerous we looked. And I felt touches in the opposition area was the best way of showing it. We got in and around their box and looked more capable of doing something and looking dangerous around their goal than they ever did, despite having less of the ball. And I think that is the key stat to take out of this. We were really getting into dangerous areas a lot of the time against them.
Yeah. Do you know what? Right, that was them match stats. I think it's a running theme that big players may have more passes than us, but we never were good at converting. We never were. We haven't been recently. We spoke about in the pre-match build-up show. We're underachieving, but yesterday 5 shots on target. Same with them, but we ended up being the winners. So it's a progression. I'm happy.
Yeah, but this is what I mean. I mean, the stats slightly misleading.
Oh, this is true.
Because we could have. Yeah, absolutely. Max spot on. It could have been more. Not because I know Saka hit the post, but was slightly offside. Cedric had a decent effort. Aubameyang hit the post. There were lots of moments. Those don't count as shots on target. But it's more just the amount of times, for example, Bellerin got in a good position and the cross was just cut out. And that wasn't actually, I'm not going in on Bellerin here. I thought that the delivery was good. It was just defended quite well. Or the amount of times we had a 3-on-2. And if we'd just been a little bit more efficient, we would have got another. And I felt we always looked like the more dangerous team. You can't really find a stat for that. So the match stats don't really show how dominant we were, I thought. I thought we were the much, much, much better side. Defensively, going forward, the way we used the ball, we were better. And I'm not trying to, gas us up for it. Leeds have predominantly championship players, so we should be the better side. But, they've done a number on a few teams, Leicester included very recently, who just beat Liverpool 3-1. So let's credit the boys when they do well. The Leeds are a good side, and we pummeled them. We killed them. We were much, much better.
That was very aggressive. We pummeled them, killed them.
We did.
No, you're right.
We were, I'm not saying we're back. We're going to win the Europa League. We're going to get tough. I'm not saying any of that. I think we've got a long way to go. And you can tell from the tone of my voice that I'm not overly excited. Even in my fan cam, you can see I'm happy, but I'm not, Arsenal are back, life's great again. No, this team have got a lot of work to do to make up for what has been a terrible season. Yeah. But let's say how it was. We destroyed Leeds yesterday. We were much, much better than them. And I think we can be happy with that. And actually, I want to look at Aubameyang's stats as well. Is now a good time to pull them up? Shall we?
Right, now's the right time. Bring them up. Here we go.
Because obviously he came back. He started up front, as I said. He was playing on the shoulder a little bit more. Cecil, you'll be able to break down his role as a striker and his performance better than I can, having been a striker yourself. But just from a pure numbers perspective, 3 goals. He had 5 shots, 3 of them on target. He made 2 key passes. He had 9 touches in the box, which is what you want to see. He also was involved in 7 aerial duels, more than any other player. So he was getting involved when the ball went long. And I noticed this a few times. He was actually winning the flick-ons, and he was getting involved in that part of the game as well. It's something Pepe's added to his game recently as well. So clearly Arteta's working on the forwards, having a bigger presence when it comes to winning that ball up the pitch when we have to go long. But he was very good. What did you make of him?
Listen, Aubameyang, I got a big up to him. I saw obviously on Troops' a video as well that he was saying that's for mummy and that. So big up to him. I hope his mum's okay, Aubameyang, and I think he agreed with it as well, sharing it on his story. So big up Troops, big up Aubameyang for that, because I think it meant so much for him and getting a hat trick. I'm not going to be that guy who's like, again, he's back. We're not going to do that. It is one good performance. We're not getting carried away here. But for his confidence and for how well he played, there was flashbacks of the old Aubameyang when he was scoring 100%.
Absolutely.
Cutting in. He was changing up his style. Instead of going for that far corner, he reversed it and put it in the opposite corner, which I don't think the keeper didn't see coming as well. Which I think it means that he's added to his game, that he's aware of that. Getting 3 shots on target and converting them to 3 goals. I mean, those numbers are that's crazy. Like, I know that's people are gonna be like, yeah, well, he's a striker, but you get 3 shots on target and 3 goals. I mean, not many strikers do that. They normally have 4 or 5. They normally get shots on target, but the keeper makes a save. But to convert all these goals that make all these shots on target to goals, got a big up to him. And
it could have been 5 or 6 for him, because you think of that effort where Luiz made that great run, cut it back, and it was just a great block by the centre back.
Yeah.
And then he hit the post. Really nice curling effort. He looked a danger all game. That's what I really enjoyed about him.
100%, James. And I was going to make the title of the show. We were going to make this title of the show. The manager has difficult problems now. I wouldn't want to be the manager. I was going to be the title, because what do you do now? Like, your striker that's been out of form has just scored a hat trick and looked back like the older Aubameyang, and then you got Lacazette, who's also, in my opinion, on form as well, just waiting on the bench.
In good form.
Exactly. So I wouldn't want to be the manager. I don't know what people.
Hey, it's a good problem to have.
It is.
It's a good problem to have, because they are both looking good. So I think we can just enjoy that. So let's have a little look at the second goal and a few of the sort of incidences that came around it. Let me start with the first penalty that wasn't given in the end. Is it a penalty for you? Comment section, let me know.
Was the first penalty a penalty?
Yeah.
See, Lee and everyone else was saying it was the issue. What happened before? There was a pull, there was a tug before he went down in the box. So they said they should have given it there. Whether that was Do you know what? No. Okay, look, at first glance, yes, it's a penalty. But then, so if there wasn't, VAR didn't get involved. If I was watching, when I watched it full speed, first I straight away said it was a penalty. However, when they looked at it, VAR, and they slowed it down, it looked like he was on his way down. So after the VAR check, I thought fine, yeah, it wasn't a penalty to me. But when I first saw it, it was. And if I'm honest, it wasn't. It shouldn't have gone to VAR. If I'm honest, they shouldn't have got involved. But they did. Yeah. And after I saw it slowed down, to me, it wasn't.
I think there's two elements here. Did the ref make a clear and obvious error awarding the penalty? No, he didn't. I think it could have been. It could have been a penalty. So he shouldn't have overturned it, really, because that's not consistent, right?
Yeah.
You know, the whole point is that you're only overturning it if it's a really clear and obvious error, and that wasn't. So I think he should have stuck with his on-field decision. However, was it a penalty? I know it's going to make me unpopular in the comment section. I don't think it was a penalty, actually. I know Saka is driving at great pace, and people are saying there's a push. I don't really know where the push is. I think there's a bit of leaning. I think there's a little bit of, you know, being on top of it. There's a little bit of pressure, weight pressure. But I said this before after the Luiz one, and I'm going to be consistent. We can't start telling defenders that they're not allowed to put pressure on players, because if they don't, they're probably going to concede a goal. So what we meant to tell Cooper and Bednarek and Luiz, that you're not allowed to run around near strikers, that you're not allowed to run near attackers. So I'm fine with it not being a pen. It's inconsistent from the refs. I think that's a disgrace, because you know, you've not been overturning these in the past. But luckily, we did what all good sides do, and we made the referees' decisions and an impact on the game null. We made it unimportant. So yeah, I was fine with it. Not the second one was definitely a penalty, 100%. You know, he was absolutely hacked down. Bless him. Gets there in front. I thought Meslier was having a terrible game. Really, I mean,
terrible.
Zite's near post twice. Nearly pressed by Aubameyang the first time. Then he gets pressed by Saka. I mean, he just looked not with it, really. And Saka wins another penalty. And Saka was absolutely class all day. And I'll just bring up his numbers. Had the one shot, but it's more his passing accuracy, 82%. Passing the opposition half, he had 20. 3 crosses, 5 fouls, 1, and he was involved in 18 duels, more than any other player as well, because he's got that combative side. And the duels isn't just every time he goes to tackle, it's every time someone tries to tackle him. So it shows how involved he is in that physical side of play, how almost roughed up he's getting at times in games, but he's dealing with it really well. And I thought he was amazing again. And it begs the question, is he our best player?
Bukayo! Sorry, anyone listening in headphones? But yeah, he is. I don't care what anyone says. And do you know what? I'm gonna quickly touch on something. That penalty, we just spoke about the penalty. One thing, the first thing I said when I was watching it with in the studio, I said, listen, I'm happy to see that our players are actually going down. Like, they're not doing the superhero thing of, no, I'll stay on my feet. And I think at the end of the day, like, that's what other teams do. When they get contact, they go down. In my opinion, like, when I first saw it, it was a pen, because that's what we should be doing, going down. And I think Saka, he's being that sort of player that will win a foul and know when to go down. And I've been waiting for that. I think we're too nice as Arsenal players. I think we don't know how to manage a game, when to go down, when to choose our battles. The only person I know who does that the best is Saka. He was getting in the players' heads. Like Alioski, they were getting wound up. As soon as they touched him, he dropped and he got fouled. And I was like, yes, that's
without diving, by the way, without diving. Like he wasn't cheating. He was inviting contact and taking it and winning a free kick. If he was in a tight area and he thought, you know what, nowhere really for me to go, just puts his body in front of the ball. Alioski comes in, goes down, wins a free kick.
They were giving him words. They were getting in his head, trying to get in his head. But Saka's so composed. He's such a mature player. I love him. Let me go. Let me do this. Right. Saka, yeah. And yesterday as well, like, the strength he possesses on the ball. He is small. Yes, he's small, but his centre of gravity and the way he drives with it, you can just see for the, I think it was the second goal, I think the second goal or the third goal, he drives across the front of the box. And
third goal, yeah.
People are trying to get to him, and he's just holding them off. He's holding them off. He's strong. I know there's an argument about him, Foden. I get it. But let's please people that are Foden fans or they're comparing him to him. Just remember, Foden's had a lot longer to basically integrate himself into the Man City team. He's had much more time than Saka has. Saka plays various other positions compared to Foden. Is a one position man. Yes, he plays it very well. And I'm not taking away from Phil Foden.
I'm not sure about that. I'm not sure about. He does play a lot of positions.
Well, okay. So the middle, but as
he's played right, left, middle. But I get what you're saying. He's played a lot of. I agree. I agree with you. It's not a fair comparison, right? Because one has been involved in one of the greatest teams the Premier League's ever seen, one of the greatest groups, and has developed really nicely, and has been involved for 3, maybe 4 years now, and he's starting to reap the benefits of that steady progression. Whereas Saka came in at a very young age last year, 17, 18, and has been almost a staple part of this team ever since. And he's looking better and better playing different positions. I completely agree with you.
100%. And the shining light.
Foden's better right now, but who cares?
Yeah, well, it only makes sense because, like I said, Foden's had more time and he's surrounded by world-class players. Don't get me wrong. People would argue and say we have world-class players, but Saka's been a shining light in a failing Arsenal team. When the team's been playing, he still has his consistency level, his performance levels at 8 and above. So, listen, Saka for me
is he our best? Is he our best player right now?
Yes, it's such a. Does anyone disagree with me? I know I saw someone.
Better than Tierney.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Someone says Kieran Tierney. A lot of people are saying that as well. But for me,
better than Gabriel.
Yeah, bro.
Better than Partey.
Yes. Okay. Better than Partey. Hold on. Yeah. He's a 19-year-old kid, and he like.
No, I'm not talking about what they're achieving for where they are. I'm talking of fundamentally our best footballer right now.
Yeah. I'm sorry. There's There's no way I'm changing my mind. I'm solid down on that. Saka, if you're watching,
I'm just probing you. I agree.
I know, Saka, if you're watching, yeah, big up, yeah.
He is because he can do so much with so little. Sometimes, you know, the example I use in my fan cam is against Wolves. Partey was popping it over the top, and he was running beyond. But he didn't have that outlet today. So what was he doing? He was getting the ball and he was driving at defenders, making things happen himself. He was class. He was class. And as you said, he played a part in that third goal. Let's go through it now. Hold on. I'll just bring it up. Best angle I could find. Look at that. Ooh.
It's beautiful though. I don't want to lie. That's stadium, man.
Yeah, the stadium is class. I mean, I can't wait till we'll be back in there. Just like, look at that blue sky. Oh, no, I can't wait. Honestly, it's a great pit. I've got to say that's a great shot. But I mean, okay, it comes from some great work from Saka. Comes inside. He's the one who drives us into the penalty area, rides a few challenges, gives it to Aubameyang, who picks out. Aubameyang's involvement is very underrated. Picks out a lovely pass to Bellerin, who at first almost slightly squanders it because he nods it back towards Smith Rowe, but Smith Rowe keeps it alive. And that touch by Smith Rowe, do not underestimate how difficult that is and how classy it is. Like that, what are we laughing at?
Guys, you, James, yesterday in the watch along, James was just, he was going crazy about Smith Rowe's touch. Please watch it back. Don't get me wrong, it was definitely a class touch. And I was going mad about Ceballos and his pass through the legs, but James was screaming like, the touch. The touch
was, don't take this away from me. The touch was insane because he's running the other way. Bellerin's headed it backwards and he stuck out a leg and dropped it right in front of him and rolled it to Dani Ceballos. It's a very little thing. But without him doing that, the move is dead. Yeah. It's done. They clear it. They move. They're probably counter-attacking. So he kept it alive with that touch. And then it's Dani Ceballos, I thought was brilliant today. We can't get stats off everyone, guys. But Ceballos was absolutely class last night. Just driving with the ball, turning past players, bring some flair. I think he benefited from having like-minded players in the team. Saka, Odegaard, who were coming short, knocking it off, nice 1-2s. I thought he benefited from that a lot, and he did really well. And then the finish from Bellerin. Bellerin had his best performance of the season last night. I thought.
Oh, okay, fair.
He looked quicker again. He looked quicker. Like his pace was sort of.
Whoa! You're
Back
right.
a little bit.
I know, James. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've been
No,
saying.
I just said what he looked. I'm not. Listen.
I know.
If I had the choice of fullbacks, it's still Tierney and Cedric for me. Cedric was also very good. God, everyone was good. This is nice. But Bellerin, like, I thought had a really good game. He looked more comfortable on the ball. I thought he looked more dangerous, and he's got his goal, and I'm really happy for him.
Yeah. Okay. Bobby
He
says
looked more aggressive as well, actually.
Yeah, we was at them yesterday. We had the youngsters on there as well, the players to do the press, and it worked really well. We kind of we fought fire with fire yesterday, and we came out on top, which you'd expect from an Arsenal team. But here we go. Bobby, I believe Bobby is a Leeds fan from his
good insight here. I just quickly read this.
I haven't read this yet. So you played well yesterday. We look a complete different side without Phillips. Yeah, there was a lot. I remember speaking. I have a friend who's a Leeds fan. He said that was going to be an issue. And a centre back in midfield, Mezele, I can never say his name, has saved us a lot of points this season, but he was awful yesterday. Still only 20. Okay, fair. Yeah, do you know what? Fair enough. That is fair. He's a young keeper, and it actually showed yesterday. And I have actually watched him previously, and he's done really well for you guys. He's a great shot stopper, but yeah, he was at fault for at least three of the 4 goals, in my opinion. So yeah,
I think so too. And we were warned that without Phillips, they're not the same team. But without Partey, we're not the same team. I know it's different. I know that's not a fair comparison. I know, but it happens, and we can only play what's in front of us. And I thought we still did very well. So yeah. It was good, and of course there was a 4th goal. Let's just take this from Mark T quickly. Good evening. Just quickly. Good evening from Melbourne. Just want to touch on what DT said earlier on Xhaka. Did you two feel that Xhaka's playing more of a defensive role? Yeah, I suppose.
I didn't hear what DT said. That's interesting.
I've not watched it back yet. I think Xhaka was, because Sabas was getting forward. I don't know. I don't really like Xhaka in that defensive role. I prefer when he's got someone who is the defensive midfielder and he can express himself going forward a little bit more. But he did do well yesterday.
I've really got. It's hard with Xhaka. He just blows hot and cold way too much for me. But he had a good game recently. Yeah, he's been on form. He had a good game yesterday. I'm not taking away from his performance, but
yeah,
I don't know what role suits him best, because I don't know what Xhaka I'm going to get on the day. That's just how it is. Like, yes, he's in great form. He's in good form at the moment, but is he better defensive? Is he better going forward? I still don't know. But, he done well yesterday for us, and I think him alongside Ceballos, it worked. It did work. It gave Ceballos the freedom to kind of move more up the pitch, which he was doing, and playing and releasing Odegaard as well, and Smith Rowe. So yeah.
Let's fly through these last bits a little bit. So Smith Rowe, I want to touch on him. His involvement in the 4th goal. It's a shot, but hey ho, whatever. We move.
You don't know. It might have been a pass, James. It was definitely a shot, but you don't know.
It was a shot. But what I enjoyed was the areas he's picking the ball up in, dropping deep, quick one touch, flick around the corner to his fullback or back into midfield. Of his 34 touches, 17, which is 50%, came in central areas. And by central areas, I mean within the width of the penalty area. That's the kind of distance I'm talking. That was despite playing as a left midfielder. So I really enjoyed that. He was linking up with the midfield a lot. He was coming inside. And I think it was Anna Smith said it on commentary, and we were all feeling it. I was chatting to my family as well. And, we were all feeling like this is the most creativity we've seen in an Arsenal team since the Wenger days, where you had a Ceballos from deep and you had an Odegaard and a Smith Rowe who are 10s and creators, but you got a Saka who can drop deep but can also drive beyond. And it just looked very, Xhaka's a very neat passer. It looked like we had real creativity and flair in the team, even in our centre backs. We've not mentioned Gabriel. Gabriel was brilliant as well. Gabriel was, if it weren't for Aubameyang's hat-trick, Gabriel's my man of the match. I thought he was awesome.
Yeah, it's class. It's class.
Dealt with everything.
I expect. Do you know what? He doesn't get enough praise. Remember, we said yesterday. Sorry, I keep bringing up conversations of yesterday, but it's just to fill you guys in. We said yesterday that there was some people criticizing him, saying that obviously he has his moments where he's a bit rash and he's not ready yet, or whatever. He's a bit. And I said no. We've said it from the beginning. Luiz and Gabriel are our favorite pairings, and I believe they obviously when Saliba comes back eventually, that'll be the future for Arsenal. But I feel right now the best pairing is them two, and Gabriel's been class. Like he's been class. He's been one player of the month 3 months in a row, and that's not just by luck. He's been playing really well for Arsenal. So I just want to quickly just touch back, James. This is, I think DT asked James to bring the Xhaka stats from the game because he wants to see them now. We can't bring stats on everyone. I know James is probably going to say that. Look,
yeah, I heard that. I'll have a look. I'll have a look.
We will. Yeah, we can use that for. We'll bring up on maybe one of our daily shows and we'll go through that as well.
Yeah.
I believe
Build up show or something. Yeah.
Yeah, I believe JXY says what DT said was that Xhaka was playing backwards and sideways because of Ceballos next to him.
I'll look into it. He might have been. I definitely agree with DT. If I think this is what he's saying, that Xhaka wasn't as progressive in terms of his passing, maybe. But direction of pass, I'll find that somewhere. I'll have a little look around. Yeah.
Just quickly on that. Sorry, before Arnold, I read your super chat. Quickly on that, Xhaka. When he's got Ceballos next to him, he probably does. He's probably been told to play a bit more defensive role. But if I'm honest, him playing sideways and backwards is not a problem for us if we have Luiz starting, because Luiz does a lot. If you watch the game, he does all the forward passing that Xhaka you may want Xhaka to do. He'll drop it off to Luiz. Luiz drives forward into the space and passes it forward. So I don't mind Xhaka going sideways and back if we have someone that can bring it forward from the defense.
Luiz made more passes into the opposition half than any other player, I think. So
there you go. There you go.
Tells you everything.
Arnold.
Sorry, go on, take the super chat.
Quickly, super chat. Arnold Sundberg, Saka and Oba together is an amazing combo. I have to agree.
Yeah.
Saka and anyone is an amazing combo.
It's true. It's true. Few things to quickly finish off on. The 2 goals that Leeds scored. I don't think there's much to break down there. I think with the first, sometimes you just got to credit a great cross and a great header. He came steaming in, what was his name? I think it's pronounced Strack or Stroik, who's playing as their defensive midfielder. Yeah. Came absolutely steaming in. And it was just a very good header. And sometimes you've got to say, fair enough, they just executed that really well. Maybe Gabriel, if he's positioned slightly better, clears that. Maybe Luiz should be charging at that winning the header, but I'm not going to go in on them too much for it.
Yeah, just quickly, guys. It was Saka's man that he lost. However, it was Luiz's zone because Arsenal defend corners in part zone or part marking. So it was Saka's man. You could question anyway. Saka shouldn't be marking him firstly, and then it was David Luiz's zone. But David didn't see him. He didn't see him entering at all. He didn't look. He just kept his eyes on the ball, which most people say is what you should be doing. But in my opinion, you should see who's coming. You got to see where the man's coming from. So you should have checked the shoulder. But like James said, it was a good goal. Sometimes you just got to say fair enough. It could have been stoppable, but I'm not going to put too much light on that because it was a good one.
Agreed. Second goal was poor in my opinion, because Bellerin's not followed the run. Luiz hasn't really covered him properly. But then Luiz gets in a position where he's stopping the goal, the cross across goal. But then the cutback is made really obvious. So that wasn't great. I think more than anything, Xhaka should be tracking the man. That's really what should be happening. But again, it's no big deal. The other thing that was, before I go into that, I just wanted to ask your thoughts on the substitutions yesterday.
Yeah,
there's a lot of uproar from Arsenal fans.
Someone said, "Oh, this is it." Wow, sorry, James.
Stand by it. 14 AFC fan.
Do you know what it is, right? The substitutions Arteta made, for me, they were fine. Apart from I did want to see Pepe instead of Willian. However, I'm not angry that Willian come on. Obviously, I'd rather have seen Pepe. Definitely, I think he's on form and he deserves to be playing. But he might be playing on Thursday, so that might be the right decision. But Willian coming on, it is frustrating. I've said this previously. I've made my mind up on players. Willian's one of them. It is what it is. However, I am not scapegoating. I'm not saying nothing. He didn't do anything to affect the game in a sense of negatively or positively, in my opinion. A lot of fans were getting angry. Yeah, I spoke to people on the fan cams and they were getting angry that Willian come on, but we're paying money a week to have him there. I don't want him just to sit on the bench for the whole. It's pointless. It's pointless. I'm not gonna get too angry, but
people saying Willian came on and had a bad game. You're looking for it. You're looking for every possible thing he did wrong. I'm with you. He did nothing bad. He did nothing good. He gave away possession a bit. You know what? Luiz gave it away loads. But we didn't care because he was trying to make things happen. You're not looking for every Luiz error. Some people are. If you look at Tierney, gives away possession more than any other player when he plays. More than anyone. He gives it about 20 plus times away every single match. So this idea that Willian was poor because he gave possession away, remember what he's come into. He's come onto the game where it's 1, and he's more there to do a defensive job and just kind of keep things stable. He did nothing bad defensively. He did nothing great going forward. So he kept possession okay at times. He got into some nice pockets. If Saka's onside, that's a really lovely pass to him and little things like that. So let's relax. And also, moving away from the Willian thing, people were questioning Arteta and why he's got this sort of favoritism for Willian. But I just wanted to show this stat, which I'm going to bring up really quick.
Sorry, put this off.
So, number of starts since Boxing Day. I mean, that tells you the story, right? Martinelli's on 4, should be on 5 if it weren't for the injury he got in the warm-up against Newcastle. And Martinelli's had injuries, right? He came back from an injury very quick and was thrown straight in. And he had the injury after the Newcastle game, which kept him out for maybe a week or so. Let's just put this into perspective, guys. I know Willian's making a few too many appearances off the bench. And I know that I was disappointed to see him come on against Villa. Wasn't what I wanted to see. But overall, he is not favouriting Willian. Okay, I mean, not of late anyway. Maybe early in the season, but I think he's learned from that. And if you look here, Smith Rowe, who made his debut on Boxing Day, is starting loads of games. Saka, who's a youngster, starting loads of games. When he needed a win more than ever against Chelsea, it was crunch time. Basically, the headlines were, if he loses, he's probably out. And he played Martinelli. So I'm not saying it worries me that he likes Willian and that he signed him. That's still all valid. But this idea that he's favoriting him and is, ultimately wants to play him over everyone else, let's just relax on that. It might prove to be true over time, but it's not at the moment. So let's just chill.
Yeah, agreed. Quickly, that was well broke down. But Willian is still dry. Just so you know, I'm still don't want to think I'm on, but James is right in what you say. I know you're right in what you say, though, James. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. He's not being brought on more than most other players in the team. AMR, just quickly, AMR Nail. The only one thing that I can see as a major improvement is not only defensively, but also the way that it's so relaxed when playing from the back. We have an identity. Just quickly on this, James, I know we need to wrap up the show. There was a moment in the game.
Sorry. Ross has made a good point. Willian was out sick for a handful of those games.
Ooh.
A handful.
Okay.
Like they were back by the new year. So that includes, just because he wants to know what I'm talking about, so I feel I should tell him. Oh, I don't have the fixtures, lol. That includes everything from Palace, Newcastle, Southampton, United, Wolves, Villa. Yeah, he was available for all those, just so you know.
James is getting his point across today. Aaron Sanko, thank you for your super chat. Quickly, just the identity thing, AMR Nail, thank you for your super chat. Just quickly, there was a time yesterday we was watching a match and there was a ball played down near the touch, well, down to the corner flag, and they cut it back. I think it was Cedric, but he didn't look. Cedric did not look who was there, but he cut it back and it got to an Arsenal player. And I said, how did he know he was there? And James correctly said, he said, they've been working on it in training. These are passing patterns. This is patterns of play that they must have worked on, because we watched Cedric run down that line. He did not check where the player was. He just knew he was going to be there. And that just proves that we are going in the right way. There is becoming more of an identity. He's sorted out the defense and he's now working on going forward. And it was, when Jay said that, it just clicked for me yesterday. I was like, yeah, that is what we need. There's either going to be a player on the edge of the box that I'm sure Arteta is told to be there, and someone driving across the front to get a tap in or hopefully a deflection. And that is what you saw. If you ever have a chance to watch it back, if we watch against a Benfica game, you'll see it. The player may not even need to look where the player is. He just knows he's going to be there. And that is what I've been asking for a while as well, knowing where the players are, passing patterns. And I think he's slowly starting to put in.
No, you're absolutely spot on to mention it. The team looks coached. And I know we lost the 2 games before that, but we're here to react to the last one. And the last one, the team looked coached. It looked like it had a plan and that they benefited from a week of coaching and training. So fair play to them. Fair play to them. You're right. That cutback from Cedric, that was all instinctive. Not instinctive. That was instinctive in the sense that when he got there, he knew, let me cut this back. because someone's been told to get on the end.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the patterns that I'm seeing and enjoying. Finally, man of the match.
Man of the match. Let's get into it.
It's got to be, isn't it?
Background music.
You really need your sound effects, man.
I need it. We need it back. Aubameyang, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. Yeah, he had a wonderful performance yesterday. 3 goals, hat trick. Got to give it to him. Yeah, I don't know what else to say. It says shots on target there 5, which is confusing. That's just different because, yeah, but it's fine. Emerick Aubameyang, the man of the match.
Maybe it was just shots. My bad.
Yeah, it might have been the shots 5, but that's fine. He had a great game yesterday, and like I said, I think it meant loads to him. Obviously, his mum being ill. I hope she gets better. I hope she's well. I hope she's recovering from what it was. We don't know too much, but I think it done him a world of joy getting a hat trick. And he played unreal, James. It's just nice to see him back in a sense. I'm not going to say he's fully back because obviously it's one match, but it's nice to see old glimpses of the Aubameyang of what I know him for as well. Was getting the goals for us. Your thoughts?
Yeah, no, nothing else to say to that, really. He was great. He looked direct. He looked dangerous. The best bit was that he didn't just score the 5. He didn't just score the 3 goals, but kind of that was really it. He was running in beyond. He was stretching the defense. He was having other shots that looked dangerous. Yeah, he looked a real threat again. He looked like a player that Leeds thought we really need to keep an eye on him, and he's not really looked like that player most of the season. So really glad that he's followed this home performance up with the one he had against Newcastle, and he's bagged himself a few goals. Definitely
that. Now, before I finish up again, we're finished. We're going to wrap up, but yeah, that Aubameyang Thursday is going to be tough for Arteta to decide who starts. I know some people comment saying, "No, it's easy, you just play Aubameyang and Pepe," but I don't know. I feel for Lacazette. Does Lacazette have to now continues keeping a seat on the bench due to a hat trick? Like if my striker scores a hat trick, automatically I think, well, he must play in the week.
Yeah,
it's a tough one. It is a tough one. I wouldn't want to be in Arteta's shoes, but it is a good problem to have. Yeah.
It is a good problem.
Sorry, Lavin J. I just saw a comment saying it says a world of joy. It's not saying it's a world of good. You're right. It is what it is. I called Bruno Fernandes Bruno Mars yesterday, so
yeah, Cecil comes out with all sorts. He's reinventing the English language, and I kind of love it.
It is what it is. Cecil for England. This is it. I don't even know what it means, but it is what it is. Before we go, final super chat before we head out. Nikhil says, "Greetings, brethren from Sydney, wishing Aubameyang's mum a speedy recovery. Hope he starts against City. Plenty of selection headaches from Mikel. Loving it." And that is the perfect
Sums it up.
Exactly that. It's a perfect super chat to leave on for this show. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you guys have a great Monday, and we'll be back again very soon. So stay tuned to all the AFTV content coming your way. Peace out.
Today's show is sponsored by Profit Accumulator, the #1 match betting service in the UK. Match betting is different to gambling. With gambling, you bet on one side, and if that side loses, you lose. With match betting, you bet on both sides. That means no matter what the outcome, you're a winner. When you sign up to Profit Accumulator, they will walk you through the whole process of how to do match betting, and as long as you follow what they tell you, you cannot lose. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description right now for your free trial, and you can start earning some real cash.